Mental health has been high on the agenda for several years now, and there is far greater awareness and openness about our mental health than there was years ago when poor mental health was perhaps stigmatised and not talked about. Taking care of mental health is crucial for teachers, as they play a vital role in shaping the future by educating the next generation. Hi everyone, I'm Natalie from My Progression, and this video is going to look at how you can look after your mental health as an educational professional. It is so important to address, be aware of, and talk about mental health. As teachers and educators, we must be able to cope with a large workload, the pressures of school life, and challenging behaviour. There's no doubt that it's a pressurised situation, and so looking after both your physical and mental health is key to coping with this sometimes challenging, but always important career. So what is mental health? According to mentalhealth.gov, in 2019, mental health includes our emotional, psychological and social well-being. Mental health, both good and poor, affects how we think, feel and act, and determines how we handle different challenges or stresses in life. When your mental health is good, it means you feel you can manage day-to-day stresses, work productively, use your abilities and contribute to society. Good mental health is a key part of feeling happy with life, being connected to other people, and having a sense of meaning. Good mental health is not only important to allow you to succeed in your career, but also important to enjoy the life you live outside of school, enjoying your social life, enjoying your families and friends, and also being able to relax, rest, and sleep well to physically recover. Your well-being will be impacted by your mental health. Mental health can be affected by biological factors such as hormones or genetics, life experiences such as trauma or abuse, family history of mental health problems, and alcohol and drug misuse. According to the 2022 Teacher Wellbeing Index, a survey carried out by the charity Education Support, 78% of UK school staff reportedly experienced poor mental health symptoms due to their work in the past academic year. The same survey found that 59% of staff had considered leaving the profession. This is worrying, and we do know, and leadership and government are aware, that teacher retention is poor. This year, not all teacher training places in universities were taken up. Other career options are being considered because of the pressure. However, many of us would agree that even though there is pressure and stress, it's a rewarding and fulfilling career. We want you to be aware of your mental health and be able to know when and how you can make adjustments to support you in coping with teaching life. So what can affect mental health as a teacher? Now remember that each of us are very different and will respond in very different ways to pressures, and there's no one correct response. There are numerous pressures on teachers which many do not understand or recognise. A lot of people think that teachers have it easy. Great long holidays and they're back home by 3:45 every day. But it's just not the case. We know that teachers have to plan and prepare for lessons, teach, mark and assess pupils. But on top of that, there's behaviour to manage, support plans to write, book scrutinies, observations and walkthroughs or learning walks, dealing with parental concerns and worries, assemblies to prepare, the trip to arrange with risk assessments to do, and the list can go on. Oh, and if the school are Ofsted imminent and there's a sense of anticipation, if not panic around the school. And added to this, there are the external pressures and stresses that life outside of work can throw at you. It can be a very fragile juggling act. Everything takes time, and that quick phone call at the end of the day to a parent may take up half an hour of your time. This then puts you behind in getting prepared for the next day. And then you're late leaving school and get stuck in traffic, so are late to pick up your toddler from nursery. You feel stressed, and it's easy to feel like that. If you feel good and you're coping with life, you'll be able to use your energy effectively to teach good lessons and cope with the norms of daily school life. Work may even be a motivator to you and help your mental health as you feel valued and the superstar teacher that you are. However, our mental health can slip and we begin to feel burnt out and stressed. A model you can use to understand your own stress is called the stress bucket. Imagine you've got a bucket inside your body which collects all of your stress. Events and day-to-day things such as work, home life, illness or finances add stress into the bucket. Sometimes the bucket might feel relatively empty and other times it might feel quite full. We all have stress buckets of different sizes and we vary in how much stress we can individually manage. Equally, an event that we find stressful, someone else might find only slightly stressful or not stressful at all. And this is okay because we're all different. But if that bucket is getting too heavy, research has shown that burnout in teachers has been linked with reduced quality of teaching and classroom instruction, and increased risk of poor student classroom behaviour. Research demonstrates that teachers with poor mental health might find it more difficult to develop and model positive relationships with their students. So what's the impact of poor mental health? Poor mental health has an impact on our physical health, so our concentration may be low and you may feel tired, emotional, anxious, have low energy levels, bad-tempered and snappy. Any of these will have an impact on our classroom practice and the children you teach will pick up on any change from you. They're aware and will realise that you're not yourself, and this in itself may be the catalyst for getting away with behaviour that wouldn't normally be accepted. And this can then escalate to unacceptable behaviours or attitudes, which then impacts even more on your mental health. Whilst extremely hard to measure the impact of mental health of a teacher on pupil progress, it has been seen from studies that the children pick up on how the teacher is feeling, and then in turn, they're not being given that quality teaching experience. So in the short term, they're not making that progress that you would expect. One teacher explained the impact mental health can have. When I had poor mental health, I was not able to focus on my teaching. I found it difficult to concentrate on my planning, and I struggled to teach with a clear mind. However hard I tried, the other things going on in my life were still there. I couldn't forget about them just because I'd walked into school. They were always on my mind. As a teacher, you're often a key person in a child's everyday life. You're perhaps the consistency a child has, and they feel at ease with you. All staff in schools are role models for the people in their care, and so the impression we give to students will have an impact. It would not be normal to have perfect teaching days every school day, would it? You're a human being with feelings and emotions that you're allowed to feel. We do have a duty to ensure children get the best learning they can. So on the days when we aren't feeling 100%, what do? A teacher I know told me that she had a pretty bad weekend and went into school to teach. She was emotional before school began and the head suggested she went home, but she didn't want to. As the children came into class, they could see their teacher wasn't her normal, happy self, and there were a few whispers. On saying good morning to class, she added, "I've had a bit of a rubbish weekend, class, so I really need your help to keep me going today. Is that okay?" The children were amazing. Some quietly asked if she was okay, and the whole class fully took on board the need to be excellent. At the end of the day, my friend thanked the class. That two-way responsibility for each other really supported the teacher, as well as made the class aware that teachers can have issues, feel sad, or low moods too. The children learned empathy and care and put it into action. It's really special. Whilst not always appropriate to do this, we can underestimate the response of children and students to challenges in our lives. We care about our pupils, but they also care about us. So you've had a low week at school. You've acknowledged it with the pupils. What next? What strategies can you implement to support your mental health? Well, mental health and well-being go hand in hand. It's so important to be proactive in supporting your mental health by engaging in the right behaviour and actions. So see our videos on wellness and well-being for more guidance, and whilst you're there, like, subscribe and click on the bell to keep hearing more from My Progression. Some small ways that you can support your mental health. Drink plenty of water to keep hydrated. Eat healthily. Take breaks. Relax for a little while at break time or lunchtime. Get some exercise, a game of football, go for a walk or a swim, try some yoga. The World Health Organization suggests that adults on average should do about 22 minutes of physical activity per day. Be grateful for the things that make you smile. Have a me day and do something you enjoy. Go to the gym, read a book, meet a friend. Try some mindfulness colouring. Talk. It is worth offloading sometimes. As soon as you have voiced your anxieties, they don't seem quite as bad, or the person you're talking to may have some advice for you. If we think back to the stress bucket, all of these things will poke holes in your bucket to reduce the weight. Why not include your class in this? Discussing these strategies with your class is helpful for everyone. We're educating the children, but also reminding ourselves of the things that we can do too. You will have a mental health curriculum and there will be policies in place, but making it part of normal everyday life makes it accessible and confirming that it is normal and okay to not have great days all the time. If you feel you're not coping in school, please talk to someone. Maybe a friend in school or a colleague you trust. Talking alone will help, and they may be able to advise you or point you towards the right help that you might need. Ask for help if you need it, please. Talk to someone. Make a connection and ask for some support. So we have discussed the impact of a teacher's wellbeing on the pupils. It is essential for the head and the leadership team to model good mental health and wellbeing behaviour and practice it themselves. And therefore policies and procedures, as well as resources to support staff, should be in place to support staff in school. In a discussion with a counsellor, he suggested that we need to think of our life broken into 3 similar circles of rest, work, and relaxation, which we should be able to identify as relatively equal and balanced, and form the basis for striving to remain mentally healthy. There can be a crossover where some work is relaxing and some relaxing is rest. If we draw circles to represent how we feel, and there's inequality in the circles, changes need to happen to prevent an escalation of a possible issue, mental health or physical health. I really like this as you can visually see what you need to work on. So if your rest circle is small, you need to think about healthy sleeping and relaxation habits. If the work circle is too big and taking over, address it and make some changes. Self-care is essential, not selfish. If you do this, you'll be the best version of you that you can be. For your class, for your colleagues, for your friends, but more importantly for your family, yourself and your future. Although schools are not required to have a standalone policy on mental health, policies should be consistent with schools' duties under the Equality Act 2010. This Act recognises that a mental health condition that adversely affects behaviour amounts to a disability. The Education Staff Wellbeing Charter is a declaration of support for and a set of commitments to the wellbeing and mental health of everyone working in education. The Charter is for education professionals in England. This includes temporary and support staff. All state-funded schools and colleges are invited to sign up to the Charter as a shared commitment to protect, promote and enhance the wellbeing of their employees. This is available for schools to sign up to and support schools in caring for their staff, and is an excellent tool to educate and raise awareness of mental health. The Charter encourages the measuring of staff wellbeing, so you can monitor and respond to any changes. It's really well worth asking your school if it's signed up to this Charter, as it's an excellent tool to support everyone in their understanding and managing of mental health. The staff wellbeing policy explains and sets out the school's commitment to the wellbeing of all employees. It should outline how the school will support its staff, its ongoing commitment to training, and ensuring that all staff are treated fairly and professionally at all times. Some schools have a mental health lead and champion, and they should be visible and available to help. Although not fully trained, they may be able to direct and guide you to the correct help. As a teacher, you tend to put your needs after the needs of others, but sometimes you have to put yourself first. You're not being selfish, you're being sensible, as you must look after your own mental well-being in order to look after the mental well-being of the students in your care. I've been Natalie from My Progression, and let's keep your career in motion.